Have you ever driven alone at night and felt the unmistakable feeling that someone, or something, was watching you? Maybe you've seen a figure on the side of the road, a faint silhouette illuminated by your headlights. Would you stop to help or keep driving? But what if the figure disappears right before your eyes? Tonight, we explore some of the most chilling highway legends in the world. From the streets of Chicago to the dark curves of Venezuela, we unravel stories of ghostly hitchhikers, phantoms who hitch rides but never stay long. By the end of this tale, you might think twice before picking up a stranger on the road. Welcome to Echoes in the Dark. We begin on the cold, dark streets of Chicago in the 1930s. This is where the legend of Resurrection Mary was born, and her story is one of heartbreak, tragedy, and eternal wandering. Witnesses describe Mary as a young woman with pale skin, golden hair, and a flowing white dress. She's often seen walking alone along Archer Avenue, a desolate road leading to Resurrection Cemetery. Drivers recount pulling over to help this fragile-looking girl who politely asks for a ride towards the cemetery. But what happens next chills them to their bones. As they near the gates of Resurrection Cemetery, Mary grows silent. When the driver turns to speak to her, she's gone. Poof, vanished. Sometimes the only trace left is the faint scent of lilies or a cold patch on the seat where she sat. One chilling encounter came from a man named Jerry, who claimed to have danced with Mary at a ballroom one night. She was soft-spoken, her skin cool to the touch. When he offered her a ride home, she directed him to Archer Avenue and disappeared the moment he reached the cemetery. Jerry searched for answers and later discovered that Mary matched the description of a young woman who had died in a car crash years earlier, not far from the very ballroom where they danced. From Chicago, we travel south to Dallas, Texas, where a watery phantom known as the Lady of White Rock Lake haunts the quiet roads near the water's edge. For decades, drivers have encountered a young woman drenched head to toe, her hair soaked and her white dress clinging to her body. She waves them down frantically, shivering, and begs for a ride home. Kind-hearted drivers often relent, offering her a towel or blanket. But here's where the story turns sinister. Once they arrive at the address she provides, they turn to look at her and find nothing but an empty, wet seat. Confused and shaken, they knock on the door of the house, only to be met by a grieving family member. "You must be mistaken," they're told. "Our daughter drowned in White Rock Lake years ago." Some locals believe the lady is the ghost of a young woman who fell from a boat and was never rescued. Others claim she's simply a figment of overactive imaginations. But those who have seen her swear her drenched figure is all too real. Now, we cross continents to Santiago, Chile, where the haunting legend of La Rubia de Kennedy sends shivers down every driver's spine. Late at night, along the desolate stretch of Avenida Presidente Kennedy, a mysterious blonde woman appears. Witnesses describe her as stunning, almost otherworldly, with long golden hair and a flowing white dress. She steps into the road, forcing drivers to stop. As they approach to offer help, she asks softly for a ride. But here's where the legend takes a terrifying turn. Some say the Rubia grows silent during the drive, disappearing mid-journey. Others claim she speaks, her voice filled with sorrow, recounting the story of her tragic death. According to locals, the Rubia was a young woman killed in a hit-and-run on that very road. Her body was left undiscovered for hours. The most unsettling detail: some witnesses claim to see her reflection in the rearview mirror long after she vanishes. her pale eyes staring at them accusingly, as if begging for justice. Finally, we arrive in the mountains of Miranda, Venezuela, where La Curva del Infiernito, the Little Hell's Curve, hides a tale so dark it chills even the bravest souls. The road is notorious for its sharp turns and tragic accidents, earning its ominous name. But it's not just the dangerous curves that haunt drivers, it's the woman who appears along the roadside. Legend has it that decades ago, a young bride was killed on her wedding night when her carriage tumbled over the cliff. Now, she wanders the curve in her torn, blood-stained gown, appearing suddenly in front of cars. Witnesses describe how their headlights illuminate her figure, her face obscured by her veil. But when they swerve to avoid hitting her, she vanishes. The scariest accounts come from drivers who claim that after passing the curve, they hear soft crying in the back seat of their cars. When they pull over and look, no one is there. Locals believe the bride's restless spirit lingers, searching for someone to take her home or perhaps pull others into the same tragic fate. Whatever the truth, drivers passing through the curve say one thing: they never drive it alone at night. So, what do all these stories have in common? Across borders, cultures, and generations, they echo the same haunting pattern: ghostly hitchhikers appearing, disappearing, and leaving behind a lingering chill. Are these tales mere folklore born from human fear and imagination? Or could they be spirits trapped in a loop, forever reliving the tragedy that claimed their lives? Some theorists suggest these are residual hauntings, energy imprinted on a place, playing like a broken record. Others believe these ghosts are trying to deliver a message, warning us or seeking closure. And yet, skeptics argue it's nothing more than tired minds playing tricks during late-night drives. But here's the thing: too many people have seen them. Too many have heard their voices, smelled their perfume, or felt their icy presence in the seat beside them. Perhaps the next time you drive alone at night, you'll spot someone standing on the roadside, waving for help. Will you stop? Or will you remember these stories and keep driving? Because one thing's for certain: some roads are not meant to be traveled after dark, and some souls refuse to rest. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales that blur the line between the living and the dead. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and remember, the road at night is never truly empty.